Hey everyone, it is Sunday and it's a not so happy update because the 49ers lost to the Seattle Seahawks in a game again. They should have won. A game where they had the lead and then gave it away. So yeah, not a great game for the 49ers, losing it again. Nick Bosa also injured his opposite oblique. He had a hip pointer and he played through it last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, rested all week, played this week, and then he came off of one block and looked like he grabbed at his hip. Then he stayed in and went after Geno Smith, came down lame again. So I think he stayed out one play after that, then took himself out of the game. Said it was brutal to watch his team lose and not be able to affect it, not be out there. This team is packed full of star players, and they should be playing better than they are. Christian McCaffrey says he could have played better. I think Kyle Shanahan probably could have called the game better. Um, missed tackles and just not. I mean, that final drive by the Seattle Seahawks, it was every other play was a good play for the 49ers defense, right? So I looked at that drive and it literally was Geno threw a pass to Kenneth Walker and 5 yards. Then he threw a pass, no gain. Right after that, threw a pass, 8 yards. So no gain and then 8 yards. And then another pass for 7 yards. And then incomplete. So then there's a good thing. It's an incomplete. Cool. And then Gino throws a pass to Smith and Jibba for 15 yards. Then Leonard Floyd goes and sacks him for -3 yards. Great. Maybe they can do it again. No. Gino scrambles for 16 yards. And then after that, um, another pass for 8 yards. And then another scramble for a touchdown. This team has relied on the defensive line for so long, from when it was DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, and so on and so forth. But I think the fact that they did not get what they needed from Javon Kinlaw and Drake Jackson looms large on this defensive line because really, Javon Hargrave is out for the season. He was brought in to play alongside of Nick Bosa. Now, if you don't have either of those two players, those are your top two guys on the defensive line. And you don't have Drake Jackson, who was a very high pick. He should be out there producing, guys that they've brought in. Finally, Yetur Gross-Matos is healthy enough to play, which is good. He had his first sack. Leonard Floyd had a sack. Not doing as much as I think everybody thought he would do. He usually runs about 10 sacks a year. Not doing that this year so far. So this Sunday's game, Nick Bosa gets credit for 1.5 sacks. Leonard Floyd gets 1.5 sacks. Just the defensive line is what this 49ers defense was built on, and it has not been performing. It has not been performing the way it normally has. So you're getting inconsistent drives where it's one play that's a win for the defense, a one play that's a loss, then a win, and then a loss. It's all over the place. So I know it's been really frustrating for everybody to watch. And, the offense, it's the same thing. You'll have a drive where they march down the field and play really well. And then they had a drive that was literally 11 plays and they only moved the ball 26 yards, 7 minutes long, 7 minute drive, 11 plays, and they only moved the ball 26 yards. And then they had to punt. That's crazy. Like I've never seen a team hold the ball for 7 minutes and only go 26 yards. So they need to fix some things, obviously, because we don't know the plays and the play calls. We don't know who is, playing great or who's not playing great. I mean, we do know who's not playing not great, but we don't know who the mistakes are on, right? When a play doesn't go right, is it because the offensive line didn't block well? Is it because someone didn't hit the right hole? Is it because someone didn't block the linebacker well? There's so many different factors that go into whether a play succeeds or not. So one thing we can all agree on is that they are not playing well together. Um, it's there's still quite a few games left, so they can turn it around. They could make it into the playoffs through the NFC West if they win the rest of their games. But playing like how they played for the Seattle Seahawks, it does not appear like they will win games going. I mean, they've got the Green Bay Packers, who maybe aren't as good as their record, or maybe they are, but the 49ers couldn't beat the Seattle Seahawks at home. So the 49ers have to travel to Green Bay. Then they have to travel to Buffalo. Those are going to be really tough games. They're on the East Coast. They have to adjust body clocks. It's going to be cold. So I don't know. I know I try to stay positive and be impartial, but the 49ers have an uphill battle coming up. And, without Nick Bosa, depending on how long he needs to be out, he could be out for a week. He could be out for 2 weeks. Maybe he could play. We don't know, but he is not 100%, not nearly. And for him to take himself out of a game is serious. So, uh, Kyle Shanahan, we'll talk tomorrow. We'll get a little bit more details, but yeah, it is not. Okay, part of the thing that's crazy is that the core players that are on the team are the same ones that made it to the Super Bowl last year. Is it emotional fatigue? Is it physical fatigue? And the Kansas City Chiefs had played deep in the postseason, but they won, so maybe that's why they're still okay. I don't know. This team is not cohesive yet. Maybe they still can get it together. I mean, one can only hope, but there's something going on. Not sure exactly what it is, but they're not working in unison and it's showing up on the field. So, I hope everybody's well. And they put a banner up on the Jumbotron today for Amani Joy, Charvarius Ward's daughter. So, we haven't seen if he's back or not, but we'll ask Kyle Shanahan tomorrow and we'll get more injury updates. But it sounds like Nick Bosa may be out for a little while. He did say that it definitely could be a possibility. So, um, yeah, that's all I've got for you. 49ers need to win games and they are not doing it. They're giving away leads. And maybe that's what's most frustrating is that these are games where they had leads. It's not that they're getting blown out. They can win. They just can't put a full game together. So it's one or the other. Also, Sunday Night Football, how many missed kicks have there been in the NFL? Good Lord, so many missed kicks. It is not the season of the kicker. That is for sure. Um, so anyways, uh, I'll post some videos up, but otherwise, talk to you tomorrow after we talk to Kyle.